What turns a child adored by an empire into a ruler feared by it? Before Caligula became a symbol of excess, cruelty, and madness, he was a boy raised in applause, grief, and suspicion. Rome remembered him as a monster. But monsters are rarely born whole. They are shaped by fear, by power, and by the people who teach them that love can disappear overnight. This is not the story of an emperor at his worst. It is the story of the shadows that formed long before he ever wore the crown. Caligula was born Gaius Julius Caesar Germanicus, the son of one of Rome's most beloved generals, Germanicus. As a child, he followed his father through military camps, dressed in a tiny soldier's outfit. The troops gave him a nickname, Caligula, meaning little boots. To Rome, he was charming, almost theatrical, a child shaped by uniforms, banners, and public adoration. But beneath that warmth was an early lesson. In Rome, even family could become political theater. Then the safety vanished. Germanicus died suddenly while still young, and many suspected poison. Whether true or not, the message to the family was clear. Popularity could be fatal. Caligula's mother, Agrippina, and his brothers soon fell into conflict with Emperor Tiberius. One by one, the people closest to him were disgraced, exiled, or destroyed. For a boy raised in admiration, this was the beginning of psychological fracture. In Rome, affection had turned into danger. To survive, Caligula learned a skill that would define him: hide what you feel and trust no one. Eventually, Caligula was brought into the world of Tiberius himself. He lived near the emperor, close enough to power to study it, and close enough to fear it. Ancient writers later claimed he survived by becoming whatever others needed him to be: obedient, unreadable, careful. When Tiberius died, Rome greeted Caligula like a miracle. The broken child had returned as the empire's golden hope. But public celebration can hide private damage. Sometimes the most dangerous ruler is not the one who always wanted power, but the one who learned that power is the only protection left. At first, Caligula seemed promising. He was young, charismatic, and eager to distance himself from the cold rule of Tiberius. Rome exhaled. But only months into his reign, he became seriously ill. What caused it remains uncertain. What matters is what followed. After recovering, his rule changed. He grew harsher, more suspicious, more erratic. Whether the illness damaged his mind or simply stripped away the mask he had worn for years, Rome now saw a different man emerging, one shaped less by duty and more by buried fear, humiliation, and absolute control. This is where legend and truth begin to blur. Roman sources, many written by hostile elites, painted Caligula as insane. Some stories were likely exaggerated, but even through the exaggeration, a pattern remains: humiliation, paranoia, and spectacle. He insulted the Senate, treated power like theater, and demanded the world revolve around him. Fear became performance. Cruelty became communication. For Caligula, control was no longer political, it was personal. A man raised in instability had become obsessed with proving that no one could ever reduce him to fear again. Terror does not create loyalty. It creates waiting. By the 4th year of his rule, Caligula had turned too many people into enemies: senators, officials, even members of the guard. The emperor who trusted no one had built a world where no one trusted him either. At just 28 years old, Caligula was assassinated. His reign ended not with glory, but with collapse. the empire moved on quickly. Rome did not mourn the man it had once celebrated. It buried him beneath the very fear he had ruled with. So was Caligula mad? Maybe partly. Was he cruel? Almost certainly. But the more unsettling question is this: what kind of world helped create him? He was raised in worship, then introduced to betrayal before adulthood. He learned that affection was fragile, family was political, and survival belonged to the most unreadable person in the room. Caligula did not begin as a monster. He began as a child in the machinery of empire. And when that machinery finally handed him absolute power, it did not heal his wounds. It weaponized them.